Hey guys, welcome to day 2 of the Valley of the Sun stage race. I've got my little helper Willow here and we're going to take you through the road course. The first thing I want to do is I want to talk about the start area. We got a few things going on. Over on the north side of the road, there will be no parking. That will be used for staging support vehicles and staging riders. Now, on the south side of the road, you've got a few things going on. We will have wave 1 parking. That's our morning parking that's going to be happening there. Now, people that are coming in the morning for the first group of riders, you've got a window just before 11 o'clock to slip out of here. If you don't, then you're stuck here till 4 o'clock because the road will be closed for the safety of the riders. Over on the east side of Tamarack Way, we're gonna have hand cycle parking, and then we'll also have wave 2 parking. So those of you guys coming in the afternoon for the faster, bigger races, you'll be parking on that east side of the road. Also over here you'll have check-in, time trial results, and of course the start finish line approximately here. So let's go check out some more areas of the course that are key. All right guys, so we're standing about 0.75 miles into the course right at turn 1, and I just want to show you this is pretty straightforward. And the road is actually in really good condition compared to years past. They've done some repaving, and along this first turn, this used to be big ripples in this pavement from big trucks and stuff braking and all that stuff, but they've kind of repaved this, and we've got brand new nice pavement all along here going on to the second stretch here after you make that first turn. Now keep in mind, your start will be neutral until you reach this turn, but there is a cattle guard here, so just be mindful. You may not be finished making your turn by the time you hit this cattle guard, and there's gonna be a lot of people in your group. Also, big one, center line rule is in effect. We're counting on you guys to keep it safe. That's for 100% for your safety. So as a group, we expect you guys to be courteous and careful and safe, and please respect that center line rule for your safety. Another thing I want to show you guys is that we really don't have much of a shoulder on this second stretch here. So keep in mind, your group's going to be tight in this one lane. It's about 10 feet wide. Now as we approach turn 2, we're almost to the 6-mile marker, right about there. There's a couple spots I want to show you coming in, just to be aware of, because once again, center line rule is in effect, and it'll get a little narrow. We got this yucky spot right here, which really gives you, let's see here, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost about 6 feet to avoid it. So I'm afraid some of you guys are going to end up going through this little spot a little bit if you're following that center line rule like you're supposed to. So we got this spot right here, and then we got one more spot up ahead we'll look at. But point is, make sure your tire pressures are up and just be aware of it. And it's about 200 or so meters from turn 2. Now this next little bad spot, about 50 meters from the first one, a little closer to that turn 2, is right here, and it's kind of the same deal. Now, I'm a mountain biker. I don't think twice about blasting right through something like this on my road bike. Point is if you do get caught out and you're riding through it, just go straight through it. Don't panic, don't get wigged out. That puts the whole group at risk, but just be aware that it's there. Especially on that first lap, who knows, if you're watching this video a year, 2 years after I filmed it, these spots may have been repaired, but it's something to be aware of out there so that you're not panicking when you come up on it and putting you and other riders at risk. So here we are at turn 2, just over 6 miles in from the start finish, and fairly decent, fairly flat. However, a little bit of debris on the inside, and that may or may not be cleaned up by race day, but just be aware there could be some there. So approach this corner with caution, and then you come out onto the second straight here, heading south. And this pavement is absolutely primo. The shoulder is wide, it is smooth with minor bits of debris and rocks, and rumble strips going down following the white line, but really good shape here. Essentially flat, barely a grade on that at all, where you'll really be able to fly. Now as we're cruising along south here down the 87, pavement once again perfectly smooth. This is almost brand new. It's almost like glass. Very nice, very smooth. If you got to use that shoulder, it's in great shape as well. And so a really nice part of the 16.5 mile course with 500 feet of climbing. And we're going to continue to proceed down to turn 3, and we'll talk about the climb. And now that we've made turn 3 and are heading south back from the 387, it's time for the elevation to start changing. You're about 10.1 miles into the course at this point, and now you've got about 1.3 miles to get ready for the climb that's going to come. As we curve to the right up the 387 South, pavement is in good shape. It's smooth, very glazed over, so good smooth conditions. So even though it's really, I mean, this is probably about 0.5% grade heading up. You can see off in the distance where the climb really does begin. So once again, we are about 11.4 miles is where we're going to start to really pitch up and see that climb. That's about 1.3 miles past the turn, your final turn on turn 3. Now we're well into beginning our true false flat climb. We're not too far away. We're maybe about just under 2 miles, probably about, actually realistically 1.5 miles from the finish area and the feed zone. As we curve up, the road will begin to pitch up now, and it takes up into the full actual climb where we really gain that 500 feet of vertical. So here we are about 12.7 miles into the course from the start finish, and we've come off the true climb and we're back into a false flat. And we are quickly approaching the finish area and the feed zone. Here we are approximately 13.6 miles in at the mile marker 12, and this is where the climb is finally over and we're back going downhill towards the start area. So here we are at about mile 14.5, where you got a long straight run and then the downhill kind of pitches to a flat. So at this point, if there's any riders off ahead, you'll be able to get a good sense of how far away they are. And if you're one of the guys up ahead, you'll be able to look over your shoulder if you're down at the end to see kind of what your distance gap is to the group behind you. All right, gang, well, we made it back to the start area, and I just want to give you a few reminders about parking. We use this area courtesy of the Gila River Indian Reservation, and they're very cool to let us use this course. It's a great one. It's absolutely beautiful out here, and overall, it is fantastic. So just keep in mind, feed zone parking is extremely limited, and you must have a pass to park there. There is no parking at the finish line. Parking here at the start area is going to be on the south side of the road on the east and west side of Tamarack Way, with hand bike parking going to be right directly on the corner just east of Tamarack. Also keep in mind, the start will be neutral until you reach turn 1 and get across that cattle guard. Let's talk wheel support for a minute. The follow vehicles are wheels in, wheels out, and that means if you brought a set of wheels, then you can take one during a flat. If we get a surplus of wheels, then of course that will be totally neutral, but it's your responsibility to check with your wheel support vehicle before the start of your race. Also, if you are putting wheels in that vehicle, make sure you get them in 30 minutes prior to your start. Those guys have a lot to do and get ready for, and we want to make sure that they're ready to go when it's time for your start. If you have any further questions on the course, don't forget to consult the technical guide. I put a link down in the description of the video below, and you can also check out the Map My Ride link, which will give you detailed elevation changes and more info on the course. So check those links out below. Now, it is time to head on to downtown Phoenix and check out the crit course. Hey guys, one last thing. On my way out here today, heading down the I-10, I saw about 10 different people pulled over by state troopers and DPS. So be careful as you drive out here and don't push that speed limit because they are not messing around.